An unreal vision comes to fruition. 15 stories turn into one group. The Jazz may have found something special. The little plays that matter, the unfazed youngster, and a subtle head coach that may have proved his point. It's all next on Tip Off. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to the playoffs. Boom, boom, boom. It was so darn cool. Boom, 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 boom. 19,911 rocked, and you did it home as well. Boom, 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 boom. I just sit here and smile. It's just that cool. It's just that cool. Special hello to open the tip off today to a nice couple from Indiana that I met last night after the game who commented that they usually see me looking relatively sleepy with a t-shirt on. I'm here. It was nice to meet you. I just smile. I'm just going to smile all day. I mean, the irony of my day today, I'll get some work done, but I'm going to go spend some time with, the Blazers are already here, and spend some good time with a good friend of mine, Mike Barrett, who's the TV guy for the Blazers. And the idea that Mike Barrett and I, at the end of the season, are spending time together, and the Blazers aren't in the playoffs, and we are, maybe just talks about how ridiculous this season is. Games like last night are determined by unrelentless, undeniable effort. And they're determined by swings. And there are two or three of those swings that have got to be highlighted tonight. Or today. I'm on 3.5 hours sleep. Just forgive me for misspeaks. Here I said Spurs all the time instead of Suns yesterday. Uh, the they are. There's a play where Gortat takes a shot, Jefferson blocks it once, and then Favors blocks it a second time. There's a play where Gortat goes up and he is devastated. That's what I used as the word on the call, and I will keep with that. By Favors. It's one of the most. The TV angle on the replays I've seen is so it doesn't show it because it's behind Favors, and I was on the other side, and you see Favors come over. He just kills Gortat, and then Harris goes the other way for a layup, and Red hits a three. So it's a funny sequence. But you know what? Gortat never had a field goal again for the rest of the night. Favors completely knocked him out of the game. We're going to the close of the first half, and Devin Harris defends Steve Nash so hard, forcing him away from the screen so strongly that Nash ends up turning it over, fast break layup the other way for Devin Harris. That's a 4-point swing that's enormous. And then Telfair running a fast break. Gordon Hayward runs him down from behind. Knocks the ball away. I don't know. At 6'8", I don't know how he did this. In the same, knocks the ball away. Somehow, in 3 steps to the baseline, controls the ball, turns around and brings it the other way. What's important about this is all 4 of those plays I talked about, all stem on the defensive end. And this team has made the playoffs because sometime around April, specifically when Al Jefferson checked in for Alec Burks in Portland, the Jazz became a devastatingly good defensive team. The big lineup is really impenetrable. The lineup with Millsap at the 3 last night came in at the 9-minute mark of the second quarter, promptly went on an 8-0 run and a 24-15 run to close the half. With the game in the balance and 10 minutes left, Corbin went back to it, trailing 76-75, And the Jazz went on a 26 to 1 or 21 to 6 run with a minute left. The game was over. And I was asking Ron Boone if he had plans for the weekend. Listen to this for a second. In 18 minutes of action, until 1 minute was left in the game, the Jazz allowed 21 points of basketball. Oh, excuse me, points, not just points. With Paul Millsap on the floor as the 3. 18 minutes, 21 points. You do that for 48 minutes, that's 56 points. For the season, with Paul Millsap as the 3, the Jazz have outscored their opponents 304 to 232. 304 to 232. They are on pace with that lineup on the floor to average 75 points a game. And the reason is, well, there's a lot of reasons. Gordon Hayward at 6'8" is your 2 guard. Paul Millsap is playing the 3 pretty well at 6'9". But the real reason is because you put Dwight Howard in the middle. You got to look at it that way. Derrick Favors is Dwight Howard. He really is, guys. I'll do a write-up on it today. Hopefully I'll get that done. He is awesome. He is a beast. He's a game changer. He had 5 block shots and a half. He's actually Dwight Howard, and at this stage of his career, he's far more advanced offensively. And to a theme that we've had all year, part of what I think has gone wrong with Dwight Howard in his career is he came out of high school and he was just handed the reins to that franchise well before he was ready. And if you've heard me talk about Dwight before, the complaint around Dwight Howard in Orlando has always been that he never worked on his game. He never tried to get better. He never improved himself. He never took it seriously. His second year in the league at 20 years old, the same age as Favors, he averaged 16 points, 13 rebounds a game, was completely dominating in 37 minutes. But he never developed any offensive skills, never developed his free throw shooting, never improved. You're telling me that if Derrick Favors right now played 37 minutes a game, he wouldn't get 16 points and 13 rebounds every night? I promise you he would. Within 2 years of that, Dwight Howard was putting up 21 points and 14 rebounds a night, and 21 points and 14 rebounds and 3 blocks. And yes, I do believe there is a chance that that's who Derrick Favors is. Those are gaudy, huge numbers. But I will say this right here and right now on tip-off, somewhat hyped from a win still, at 6:50 in the morning, so I should maybe be able to be forgiven for this comment. But here is the comment from me that will be the comment of the day, and I should really end tip-off on this right here. The Jazz will win 50-plus games every year from here on out as long as Favors is on the roster. Favors and Hayward on the roster from here on out. This is a 50-plus win team. This will be the last time that we ever sneak into the playoffs. Got it? He's that good. He's that dominating. He's that special a kid. Both of them are special kids. They are committed to winning. They'll make the right decisions. And the Utah Jazz are going to be a top 5 to 8 defensive team in the NBA. And when you're that, you're a 50-win team because that kid is that dominating and that good. I understand what I'm saying. I said it to Gordon last night in the locker room, so I better be right. Um, gosh, there's so much stuff, and I gotta get the kids within 8 minutes. Let's see what else I can jam in here. Uh, I can give what Kevin O'Connor's done is unbelievable. Is really it's really hard to fathom. I mean, there's even an article out today. Jazz provide blueprint on how to rebuild a team. Um, that was picked up by Hoops World. It might have been by Spencer. But so last February, I've sat in Kevin. I hope he doesn't mind me revealing this. Oh well, he doesn't listen to this. Um, I sat in Kevin O'Connor's office after the trade, and he showed me the book that he was working on, which was every phone call he had made in regards to Darren and what his vision was in trading Darren. And the vision was predicated on two parts. One was replacing Darren with a point guard so that the franchise would stay above water and continue to compete, and then getting multiple pieces for the future. And the vision on that was to grab a newly acquired player and then an unprotected pick. So the choices really came down to Toronto, Jose Calderon, Ed Davis, and their upcoming pick. New Jersey, with what they had been floating around, the only other, other than New Jersey, or trying to go get a big time star player in exchange for Darren, which didn't seem to be available. And obviously, we've talked numerous times about the fact he did it early to avoid being in the superstar mess and all of that. But the key part of his vision was Devin Harris, which seemed crazy. And honestly, when he was explaining it to me and I sat there, I didn't quite get it. But the point was to not drop off the map. The point was to play meaningful minutes. The point was to have young players develop an environment where every possession matters. And really, I can't tell you how well he saw this, how well he looked ahead and saw this. The foresight's incredible. Other people will win GM of the year. He should be the executive of the year this year. Most people have submitted their ballots before yesterday, and probably before they really realized what the Jazz have done. But to trade a superstar, this team went 8-20 to close last year and didn't play defense for 1 minute. And then to be in the playoffs is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And there are areas where you watch this team and they're good. Like right now, the question I have that we are going to have to start talking about is if this lineup is your primary lineup of Harris, Hayward, Millsap, Favors, and Jefferson, with Burks and Cantor coming off the bench and another point guard, and probably some other depth somewhere, you're pretty fabulous. And frankly, we've played Karolinko with the 3 all these years. He was a 4. What the heck's the difference? But that's a good team. I mean, I don't think this team beats the Spurs, but it gives it a hard time. And I do think it gives the Thunder a real trouble. If we somehow get to the Thunder, Russell Westbrook is not driving the middle lane with 3 monsters sitting back there the whole time. I mean, Durant's unguardable anyway, so what's the difference? But the question then becomes, can this become your primary lineup? And if it is, how good are you? Which leads me to Tyrone Corbin. No training camp. No summer league. So you're doing it on the fly in your first year as a head coach. I'm really stunned at how well he, one, held the locker room together, which didn't necessarily need to be held together. He had a player at some point along the way try to divide the locker room against him, frankly. He dealt with that fabulously. He improve. The team is better as the and better as the year has gone on, which is all you can ask. And the players have improved as the year has gone on. It's a pretty fabulous coaching job. I mean, there are some moments where we all wanted this or we wanted that, but what he did was held this locker room together, kept the veterans engaged, and when it all came out at the end, the young kids got enough time. Now, we were also very fortunate. We got all of the right guys injured. We really did. We got rid of all of our inefficient players due to injury. And it stunningly changes who you are as a team. And it helped. If I'm going to close this today, I have to talk about Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson. They both came down close to breaking down in tears at the end of the night. I hope in some way that I have in my job conveyed to you the passion, the care, the interest in these guys, in doing the right thing, in winning games, and playing the games that should be played. Al Jefferson's got all sorts of little issues we nitpick at, we worry about. But the bottom line, the undeniable desire to do the right thing, to play the game right, to improve, to be good, it's undeniable. And in his last week, he has shown what his value is. He really does do things that only stars can do. 20 defensive rebounds, 8 straight points last night, key possessions against Orlando. He's really done everything in the last week to lift this team up and carry it. And then there's Paul, who moves to the 3. In some ways, he's become better. His shooting percentage is dropping. I'm not sure what his shooting percentage is going to be at that position. But he puts up a big double-double last night, adds assists, adds rebounds, and is altering the game with his effort, his hustle, his hands. His hands are so good that when he's playing on the wing and now he's reaching in defensively, he's really good there. But more importantly, he has been the rock that is the Wasatch Front for this basketball team. And when he tried to talk to Ben Bagley after the game last night, if it didn't catch you for a second, nothing will. Make sure you listen to Ben Bagley's interview with Al Jefferson, also in the locker room. Jazz fans, they did it. We'll have a lot of fun in the playoffs. We'll give you all sorts of content. More importantly, these are really good guys who deserved it. It's awfully fun to be around. I thank them and I thank you. And now let's get ready for the second season after a celebration on Thursday. Tickets are available for Thursday. Playoff tickets are available at UtahJazz.com.